A very fine morning to you. Today is Friday, the 3rd day of October 2025. The week is over and this month seems to be moving a bit fast. Lillian, good morning.
I think I said that first. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. We're still in the Independence Day celebration spirit. I think this week entirely will be all about Independence Day, Nigeria at 65. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm okay. I feel like you have plans for this weekend.
You always ask me about my plans for the weekend, but when I ask you, you don't give me a response.
But I don't have any plans.
Well, let's see what the weekend has for us. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. You're watching Signature Morning on Signature TV. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha.
And I am Lillian Wali. We'll take a moment. Welcome back. Now it's time for our newspaper headlines and review. Now we're going to start with the Punch newspaper. On the headlines, Southwest states tighten borders amid banditry surge in Kwara.
Rivers Funds ICPC reviews petition against IBAS.
Electricity Act per Nigerians orders to get tariff relief.
Obi won't join dollarized primaries, obedience reply Atiku.
EU canvasses urgent reforms before 2027 poll.
We have stray bullet kills Osun graduate after NYSC call-up.
NAFDAC destroys 15 billion naira fake expired drugs in oil.
On the Vanguard newspaper, we have 2027 polls. EU mission seeks constitutional judicial reforms. Delay of electoral reforms worries INEC chairman. Says uncertainty over legal framework could disrupt preparations on page 5.
And on page 4, tinted glass permit. Outrage as police begin enforcement.
Now on the Guardian newspaper, big story pages 4 and 5. How brand Nigeria suffers for misdeeds of few abroad.
Nigeria's health system performing at 45% capacity and CDS failing family system values worsening insecurity.
Nigeria at 65, 2 days after independence, bitter divisions persist over nation's future. Atiku rules out quitting presidential race, laments PDP woes.
And Sanusi Awasike seek 30% representation, level playing field for women. Now to track 24-hour call duty limit through chief residents, 91 centers.
EU hails electoral progress amid push for reforms. Ex-commissioner decries Kwara's insecurity as bandits abduct policeman.
And on the nation's newspaper, CBN debt servicing slows to $2.86 billion in 8 months.
National Assembly mulls one-day general election in 2027 on page 3.
Power tussle in PDP NWC deepens. And that is all we can take on that newspaper headlines. Now with us in the studio this morning is Chris Maduka. Good morning, Chris, and welcome.
Good morning, Lillian.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Che. What a bright morning, and we are here again by the grace of God. Welcome all of you who are joining us from across the globe on Signature Television, our morning flagship newspaper review program. So let's fire the fire.
Yes, from the
punchy
punch. Southwest State tighten borders amid banditry surge in Kwara State. Well, this is news. This is newspaper headline we are reviewing. But I think there are certain security issues that shouldn't make the headlines. Security issues are better hidden because my father said, if at every time you talk I hit your chest, if you do not take time one day, you will tell the witches and wizards, the enemies, where your life is. So it's not everything that the security forces plan to do with the enemies of the people that should make headlines. Must you tell them you tighten borders? Now, you think you're the only person who read newspaper headlines? Punchy Punch might use this, sell your newspapers and people, but it is underlining the whole effort of security to even do their work. It's not every security move that we should read on the headlines of Nigerian newspapers. It doesn't, that's, I'm reviewing. And that's me, and I don't feel it's necessary. Because recently, the surge of terror and banditry in Kwara State has just driven the point that the terror has come home. Now, if this is a war situation, the army will be reporting, assuming so city has fallen to the hand of enemy. And the army of the people, the citizens' army has reclaimed this part. So when we are counting, and they're coming down, if, assuming somebody will report northwest, falling to the enemy's actual, the central, northeast, and they enter the central, what is left? If the enemy comes from the extreme and got to the central, what is left? And I'll tell you that when I shout and cry, we are not at home. Nigeria is planting seed with the squirrels in our bag. It was in this station that I had when we brought the resource persons to be discussing that even the security personnel are complicit in criminal acts that involve terror and banditry. How can we move forward? Now, they made any little move they make to see whether we can reclaim, there's a blown open. I don't think I am in support of that. So, if the security are making good move to tighten borders and make sure they get the people not to escape so that they round them up, why should we make it? What is not something that is something that is security, which is top secret. Because the spirit of the prophet is within the prophet. The eye of a man who has just been given, those strenuous tribal marks, the type they call Ichi in Igbo land. You don't come and open your eyes, your eyeballs will drop. Because they do the Ichi mark even around the eye lines. So when they do Ichi, you close your eyes until the healing comes. But Nigeria and our people everywhere, we are fond of Iti and Ichila. Is it that we are too loud? We cannot have what should be reported and what should not be reported. Who are we trying to impress? Telling them that let's go on, my dear sisters.
All right, we're seeing that ICPC is reviewing the petition against IBAS about the Rivers funds.
And that's in Nigeria for you. Federal government is reviewing. Federal government is engaging stakeholders. Federal government is stepping down. Federal government is engaging. These are the kind of English you hear in Nigeria. But you will not hear federal government has done. It's only preparing. We are engaging. We are discussing. We are doing. For how long? What is it? And I said, all these things are just to keep us busy. They know already what they want to do. Somebody appointed the boss. There are reports from here and there that we don't think it should be reviewed. They should go back with those petitions. Going through these agencies, appointed by who appointed the boss, is waste of total man-hour and time. Take your petition to who appointed the boss. He will sit down, review it, and call the person he appointed. I have gotten reports from the people that this, can you... Then he now decides, still from that position where he has to appoint a boss, to say, you have done well or you have not done well. Any other thing is waste of time. The National Assembly could not stop emergency rule. They could not stop the man from using the budget of River State. Could not stop him under his policies. And they put in cameras in the government house of putting solar lights and all those ones. He did all that perfected, pay contractors. Now he's left. And people are still, why don't they concentrate and face the River State and what they can do with what is left? The giant was lying on the ground. You were on top of giant. You could not even scratch or touch, you even pinch the giant. Now the giant has stood up. And you are jumping up to get a slap on the giant. Is it not total waste of time? Do you see us? That's total confusion. That's my analysis of it. The only person who can tell a boss you have done well, you've not done well, is the person who set him on that assignment, whether wrongly or rightly. Every other one is. ICPC has so much cases, EFCC so much, that are battling to settle his boss that were appointed by President Tinubu, and he finished the assignment, reported back, handed over. You were going to, let's go.
Moving forward. Now, on the Vanguard newspaper, we're looking at the 2027 polls. EU mission seeks constitutional and judicial reforms. Delay of electoral reforms worries INEC chairman.
INEC chairman was there. He conducted 2023 elections. After the reforms, the first trial, he implemented it. He has been there since 2023. Professor Mahmoud Mohammed was not worried about electoral reforms. It's only when he was asked to step aside that they looked searching for who will replace him. He became worried of electoral reforms. Shame on everybody on the line of electoral reforms that got us to this. You know, that's why I'm saying every of the headlines this morning is just showing you how deceptive Nigerians can be to themselves. We are not talking straight to our point. We just find a way. INEC, supporting we hear it, it make good news. INEC is worried about electoral reforms. The ones that were reformed, that were given to INEC to implement, what did they do with it? The first reform that we got us to use of beavers and go digital in our electoral system, you should have seen where. But the day where you find beavers work for senatorial election, they work for presidential. And Nigeria has been there. And you come now and say electoral. What electoral reform do you want again? The ones we have been reforming and got us to this post, when are implemented, you are looking for beautiful words. So that people will hear it, they say, what is INEC? I don't think INEC is sincere. I make bold to say. And they have not, majority of people in Nigeria see them as, you know, dancing around. INEC has not been sincere. INEC has not been sincere. INEC has not been sincere to the third level. So I am not convinced that anything worries them. They are just passing through. They are just going through, navigating. With 319 billion election of 2023, they are not worried. And then it got to 2025, 2 years to another election, and the end of termination of the one sitting chairman, and they got worried. Let's go.
All right, we're seeing this tinted glass permits outrage as police begin enforcement. And on The Guardian, we're seeing still on the tinted glass, NBA fumes as police impound judge's vehicle.
Yes, they clearly open mouth. Judges' vehicles, I am sure, the tinted glass, we are not, because Nigeria do not manufacture vehicles. And if they manufacture or assemble, they will bring glasses that are probably tinted and put on the kind of vehicles that we use from National Assembly to our judges and judiciary and office, government orders, governors, presidents, ministers, all in their convoys and expensive cars. All their cars are, you know, extensively tinted. And the same Nigerian government gave IGP of police permission to implement tinted glass. And it's making headline that even the judge, tinted motor, was arrested. So why am I stepping in? Let them sort themselves out. Government money for government house. Government decision to implement, and they are starting with the high-level officer, even the law implementing. That's what we tell you. The judges in the judiciary in Nigeria, from federal to local government, were there. They didn't see it any wrong. That is what we tell you, that whatever goes around, comes around. So if a judge is arrested for tinted vehicle, what will happen to the wretched of the earth? Of course, most of them have parked their cars. So, but it was another market open for the police. And the way people are talking about reducing checkpoint. Now, if they don't come out to do anything, they will come out to implement. And then where will they stay to check tinted glass? So many things on the checkpoint. Where is your particulars? Is it tinted? Where is where is what is owner's whatever owner proof of ownership? Where is renewal of license? Where is everything? Where you finish tinted glass? They now look at it. Where is the color of your tire? Where is the chassis? When they look at it, then they will pack well. You begin to negotiate. Lead us not into temptation. Nigerians have clearly led the Nigerian police, with all the problems they have to solve, they have led them into another temptation of implementing tinted glass. We are not sure what we want in Nigeria. If we say henceforth, there's a clear policy, do not import Tokumbo or brand new tinted vehicles in Nigeria. And make it not animal farm law. The governors can use tinted grass, ministers can use, National Assembly can use, PA to PA to PA to PA to PA of local government chairman can use tinted grass. Then the rest of us are the people who will be negotiating with the police whether is expired or not. And Nigerians did tinted permit, even the one that you have to go back to police to get a new one, because I have tinted permit with 2018. That time it was implemented, it was stampeded. Nigeria was stampeded during Christmas. In Southeast Nigeria, if you want to travel, you make sure your papers are okay. We line up. I was among the crowd that line up in this state CID Enugu to get tinted permit. Now in 2025, I have to go and line up again for paying for one item twice. Even there, we have to renew proof of ownership every year, where I have not sold my car or exchange it or do anything. Nigerians, we clearly put the Nigerians in deep problem, and when they sit somewhere aloof looking at it, it doesn't affect them. I am happy that the judge's car was impounded by police under tinted, because when you see chicken scattering human feces with the legs, you do not pursue it. When that chicken is killed, you might be the person who will chop the legs of that chicken. Let's go.
All right, before we go, we're seeing for the very first time in a long time about women inclusion. Now, Sanusi and Awosika seek 30% representation, level playing field for women. They
have reduced it by 5%. Because the Benjin, after the Benjin and what followed and the women pushed during good luck, they were given 35. Is it that 35 was difficult to happen and have reduced it to? Okay. Now, let them come out and give women that. Let them come and give women 15%. The women say they're not asking for too much. We just want to be involved. Nigerians have received a lot of funding from across the world talking about social inclusion, gender equity and equality and social inclusion, gender streamlining, gender this, gender that, gender no. We will sign. Nigeria will go sign bilateral, collateral, multilateral, and even no lateral agreements, and they will come back and they will not implement. Where somebody is asking for 30%, they have reduced it. Nigerians have a short memory. They've not even remembered they asked for 30%, got it. Now somebody is asking for 30%, telling you that they have clearly failed to get the women. They want the women to warm their beds, cheerleaders. Now they're talking everything they're talking about. In this whole issue of new parties, new coalitions, have you heard of any running mate? A woman as chairman of parties. They put them as spare tire, deflated one, not even the one that's pumped. Because the pumped tire is deflated spare tires. When they come, and they will start shouting them, they will not sit for them, and they use them to mere tokenism, to issues of gender. Nigerians are liars from head to toe. If we begin to test sincerity, follow it, and implement, we'll get somewhere. But we have spoken for 65 years. Nothing. when they come to a community, people are missing one by one, they are laughing. They will come to them and say, hey, we cannot find Lydia. No, me and Uche will laugh.
No.
And then we go there and say, we can't find Uche. Don't worry. I'm only making an allusion. Then the next day is Chris that is missing. Are you happier? And then you and Uche will laugh. When everybody will miss, then at the time you know it, no single soul will remain in that community. Nigeria is described as Obodone Funfu Amwamu. That's so we are going. We are going. When I say we are not at home, they will think. But then, all hope is not lost. Osita Tadema or the Babu. If things begin today to be okay, Nigeria will still bounce back. God bless you, young angels. God bless everybody who have joined us this morning on this edition of Newspaper Review for this day. Thank God for it. Remember, as I always say, God bless everybody, God bless it. But remember, God's blessing are only meant for those who deserve to be blessed.
Yes. Well, it's always a great pleasure to have you in our studio, Mr. Chris Maduga. Thank you for joining us this morning. And that is where we come to the end of our newspaper headlines and review this morning. Stay with us. Signature Morning continues after this.